Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome to the party. My name is Elisha and I'm a musician and vocal coach in the Washington, D.C. area. On this channel, we talk about good singers, how to be better singers, and what it takes to be a professional in music. Today, we're going to discuss the 4 corners that define what a good singer is. I'm going to be giving examples in each category, as well as practical guidance and resources to point you in the right direction for improvement yourself. The interesting thing about singing is that it is so subjective. Someone who I think is a good singer might make you say like, homegirl, what are you thinking? And someone who you think is a good singer might make me go. At the end of the day, neither of us are wrong, and that's an important truth to understand right off the bat. As I give examples and explain my reasoning, I welcome you to join the conversation down in the comments. What are your favorite singers, and what key concepts do you think are important to define a good singer? We're all here to educate each other and build each other up. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First and foremost, we have tone quality. The sound of their voice, the overall God-given noise that is coming out of their mouth. The technical term for this is called timbre. Timbre is how you know that this is a trumpet or that this is a flute. With voices, it becomes a little bit more fine-tuned because it's not just like, oh, that's a human voice. Defining good tone quality, again, is very subjective, but the question to ask yourself is, what is pleasant to your ear? Is it raspy? Is it powerful? Is it airy? There are so many different choices, and everyone has a different definition of good. For this example, I want to talk about Taylor Swift. When I hear her voice, it sounds full and balanced and nimble and crystal clear and just very pleasant. It makes me want to smile, and that's what I define as a good tone quality. Maybe for you, a good tone quality is something more strong and powerful and higher, maybe something like Demi Lovato or Angelina Jordan. Whatever raw sound sounds good to your ears is a good tone quality for you. The next step is just deciphering why it's a good tone quality. Once you think critically about this and have your answer, you can talk about music in a deeper way. Now, what are some practical steps to improving your tone quality? For this category in particular, I highly recommend voice lessons. Someone who is a professional, who has a degree in voice, because altering your natural voice is a very delicate process, and it's so easy to cause vocal damage if you don't know what you're doing. A good teacher will guide you in the direction to achieve the sound that you want in a healthy way. And that brings me to today's sponsor, which is me. I totally stole that joke from my friend Carlos, who has a YouTube channel here. It's amazing for musicians. I'll link it down below. If you're interested in voice lessons, I would love to work with you. In our lessons, I try to focus on practical advice that you can take with you wherever you go, work on it on your own, and keep it with you for the rest of your life. Education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. I want to give you as much knowledge as I can. If this sounds interesting to you, please click the link in the description to send me a message and we can set something up. Next up is musicianship. Something that a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of singing has nothing to do with your voice. It's done in your brain. How you process music. Can you sensitively handle dynamics and tempos and phrasing? One of my favorite singers in the whole world is the late Christina Grimmie. She was the first singer that I ever really listened to just for the sake of listening to a singer. And I feel like I kind of grew up with her because in middle school and high school, I would just listen to her music, and all of the covers that she would post, I would emulate them and try to sing them just like her. Unfortunately, she was fatally shot at one of her shows, and she's no longer around to share her music with us. But if you haven't heard of her and you want to check her out, I'll leave a link below for you to see what her music is all about. Now, if you want to improve this skill in yourself, there's actually a book that I would recommend here. I think I have it right here, hang on. Here it is. It's called The Music Lesson, A Spiritual Search for Growth Through Music. It is a captivating story, and it goes through the 10 elements of music. Notes, articulation, technique, emotion/feel, dynamics, rhythm/tempo, tone, phrasing, space or rest, and listening. It is such a great read. I'll link it down below for you to check out. The third thing is called diction, how you enunciate your words. This is important in singing because it's how we articulate. It's like the bow of a violin or the tongue of a trumpet player. There are so many elements that go into diction, and they all affect how you sing. The shape of a vowel can affect your intonation, for example. I used to not realize how big of a deal this was until I took a diction class. It redefined right and wrong ways of pronouncing things, and it really opened my mind to just how many infinite sounds you can make with your mouth. So if by chance you have access to a diction class, I recommend you take it. Now, chances are most of you out there don't have access to a diction class, in which case I recommend you do a little research on something called IPA. No, it's not a nice beverage after a hard day. IPA stands for International Phonetic Alphabet, and it is a way to define every precise sound we make when we speak or sing in any language. You know the drill. I'll leave some resources for you below to get you started, and I hope to be doing some videos on this in the future because once I got a grasp on it, it transformed the way that I sing. For our example here, I want to throw a curveball at you and talk about Adele. Now, I will be the first to admit when I'm listening to her music, sometimes I can't tell what she's saying. But the point here is that diction is more than just understanding lyrics. Your voice is an instrument, and what you do goes beyond words. For example, think about hearing a song in another language. Even if their diction is perfect, if you can't understand the language, you have no idea what they're saying. But the shape and the color of their vowels and the percussiveness of their consonants are what communicate emotion. Going back to Adele, let's listen to a little excerpt from Hometown Glory, one of my favorites.
I like it in the city when the air is so thin and opaque.
Yes, girl, the air is so thick and opaque. She uses her diction so uniquely that it almost doesn't matter what she's saying. The sounds that her mouth are forming can stand on their own, in my opinion. Now, if you're a lyrics person, this might be completely different for you. Your definition of good diction might mean that you can clearly understand every word that they say. You don't have to listen hard and look up the lyrics to see what they are. And you don't care how artistic they are with the way that they pronounce their words. You just want to know what they're saying. That's valid too. Your opinion of diction is completely valid, and you should own that. Even if it's different from my opinion or someone else's opinion, we're all allowed to be different. And that is the message I hope I'm getting across in this video. Let's talk about ear training. You might be surprised to see this one on the list. While ear training is important for most professional musicians, I think it's especially important for singers. Let me tell you why. So with other instruments, you have an external tool that is helping you communicate music. With your voice, it's all you, baby. On the piano, you press an A and you know that's an A. And if I say, give me the interval of a 6, I say, I don't know what that sounds like, but here, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, there you go. There's your interval of a 6. With your voice, sing a C. Da. Okay, now go up a 4th. Da. I'm not saying you have to have perfect pitch to be a good singer, but I am saying it's probably a good idea to develop your relative pitch and just develop your ears in general so that it can help you out in the long run. As an example, let's dip our toes into the jazz world. Jazz singers have my utmost respect because to do what they do, you have to have really good ears. I can do improv solos on trumpet all day long because I've got little buttons I press and I have patterns and muscle memory and chords, I know how it works mechanically. I can read the chords and press down my little buttons and know that the notes coming out are going to be right. But with singing, I can't do that. But you know who can? Ella Fitzgerald. What she's doing is hearing the chord changes and singing the notes that fit without any external tool. She's just using her brain and her voice. And maybe her eyes to read the chord changes like when she's practicing, but that's it. Another great example that I just discovered recently is Layla Hathaway. I'll link my reaction video below. So, how do you improve ear training? Well, my friends, truth be told, it is a difficult subject to self-teach. In the traditional sense of the word, you can go to musictheory.net and do the exercises they have on there. You could take a music theory class at your local community college if you wanted to. But if I'm being real with you here, these practices won't be directly applicable to you as a singer. I'm hoping to have some videos come out soon about ear training specifically for vocalists. It's more than just, is this note higher or lower? But it's like, how much higher or lower? How do you measure it? How do you feel it? So if that sounds good to you, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. All right, so we've talked about the four corners of how to be a good singer. But what connects these four very different things? Well, my friends, I have a bonus tip for you. It's something you probably already knew. The glue that holds these things together is called passion, connection, emotion, conviction. It's the little nuances that make one singer different from another. It's the stuff that you sometimes don't know how to describe it, but it captivates you and it leaves you hungry for more. That is passion. And without passion, all the rest of this is obsolete. So I hope that you found something helpful in this video. Which corner do you think is the most important? What singer do you think captures it best? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, there are tons of resources listed down below, so take advantage of that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.